Welcome to another episode, excuse me, of What's Going On. We have Miss Tokie Miller. She is the founder of Soaring Angels Inc. Welcome to the show. So excited to have you here and hear about what you got going on out here in the community.
Thank you. I'm excited and I'm happy to be here.
Awesome. So just tell us a little bit about yourself and Soaring Angels.
Well, I am the founder of a nonprofit organization that was formed in 2013 called Soaring Angels. I'm also an author, singer, songwriter. Do a lot.
Nice. That's
But
a lot.
yeah, I do a lot. But Soaring Angels definitely is my number one priority. My heart is very close and dear to the organization. And in fact, everything that I do, it is actually surrounded around the organization.
Nice. And then reading your bio, I do have a couple of questions I wanted to ask you. I want to know if you could share your personal journey as a domestic violence survivor and how it shaped your character and how it motivated you to help others. Know if you could share your domestic violence
Okay,
survivor
well,
and how it shaped.
when I dealt with domestic violence, let me just say this: the incident didn't just happen to me once. It happened to me during out my whole childhood, and what I mean by that, yeah, growing up, you don't realize that when you're dating someone in your teenage years and they act a little crazy, your parents say, oh, it's okay, don't worry about it. But I've had incidents when I was attending Sarah Reed Senior High School where I didn't want to date someone, and he literally had somebody to take my life. Well, what tried to take my life. Um, the girl came on the school grounds and tried to beat me to where I wasn't breathing anymore. There was another incident when I was sitting on a bus. Somebody picked me up and pitched me to the front of the bus. And back then, again, parents, oh, we just go to school, talk about it, get it handled. But all of those things were a part of domestic violence. We don't realize it at that age, but that's exactly, what it was. Spilling over to my adulthood, when I was living in Dallas, I didn't want to marry a gentleman. So he picked up the phone, called my mom. I can't have her, nobody else will. Tried to take my life. I ended up in hospital. Fast forward over 15 plus years later, I meet someone, my second marriage, and let me clear up, I did not marry the gentleman that did that to me the first time, but my second husband, um, controlling, uh, control the finances, was verbally and physically abusive. And I found myself again in that situation. And I get asked a lot, well, didn't you know, couldn't you tell from the warning signs? No. And the reason why I say that is because a person will mask and hide things. You know, you never really know a person until they take those blinders off. And it's not until when they really get comfortable with you that they'll start showing their true signs of who they really are. And so now I tell women and men, because it doesn't just happen to women, the moment that you start seeing some of those warning signs, take heed and understand a person is really showing you their true colors. You need to believe it. A zebra does not change, it stripes. And we find ourselves, oh, well, I really want this and I don't want to start all over again, but it's okay to start all over again because you're breathing. you know
Yeah,
I'd rather start all over again knowing that I'm breathing and
yeah,
not my family bearing me 6 feet under because I decided to stay for people say it's crazy reasons, but some people suffer with self-esteem. Um, when you end those type of relationship, is over. If I leave, how am I going to start all over again? The lack of family support, all of that
hmm
plays a role.
yeah. I'm a survivor. I was in a domestic violence relationship for about 10 years, and I can relate. That's why I really love what you're doing. A lot of times people don't even realize that they're in those situations. And then, like you said, it's not as easy to leave, especially if they're controlling the finances. You can't just pick up and leave. So
Right.
I love what you're doing, and I'm assuming that's what inspired you to start Soaring Angels.
Yes.
What specific services does that nonprofit organization provide to survivors of domestic abuse?
Well, the services that we provide, one is safe haven. I get the phone call. We work on finding a shelter or just somewhere safe that you can go to get out of harm's way. And then from there, I connect with other family resource centers, different social workers, just different avenues to figure out a care plan to get them back, back on track. Because at the end of the day, when you're leaving that type of situation, it's hard, especially if there are kids involved. Like young kids don't understand. Um, so it's just a whole lot of different things that we have to take in consideration. But all it's always safety first of that person that's being abused.
Right. That's so awesome because there's a lot of women out here who are suffering in silence, and they need that support and they need that safe haven.
Right.
I read that you study psychology. How has that, studying that, how has that influenced how you interact with the domestic violence survivors and how you provide services for them?
It's been challenging, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because my first year in college, I decided to go back to school later on in life. Um, And that first year, I did a lot of crying. And I'm gonna tell you why, because of the things that the professor was talking about. It was like a mirror back at myself. It was the same things that I actually had experienced. So it just took me like on a emotional roller coaster for a little bit. Then me talking, of course, I still see a therapist, and I tell anybody you dealing with any type of trauma to go talk to a therapist. It's okay. It's normal, you know that helped me get through. And just a lot of things that I've learned on how to be more compassionate and how to deal with someone that may be having a manic episode, just how to approach and how to diffuse a crisis situation. Pretty much just gave me clarity on the things that I was already doing before I attempted to go to school. So now that I'm in class, making all A's honor roll, at Southern
Okay.
University of New Orleans. I have to shout them out.
Yes,
You know,
congratulations.
thanks. It's helping me just have a better understanding and how to take care of the community properly, because everybody's story is different, everybody's situation is different, and you have to treat people and meet them at their need where they are.
So you're in college getting straight A's, and I read that you have a number of other business ventures. So we have Toki Entertainment and Records, Positive
Yes,
Space Management, and Exclusive Bougie Couture, which is a
yes,
boutique. Um,
yes.
so first of all, how the heck are you managing all those businesses and making straight A's in school? How are you doing it all?
My faith in God is just out of the roof, because I believe through him all things are possible. So I keep him first in everything that I attempt to do, and I ask that his hands be on it and that it be blessed. um I love music. I've been singing since I was like 5 6. That's my thing. So I decided to start on my own album, and of course, all proceedings from the album, from the boutique, anything that I do, it is to support Soaring Angels 100%. Because my overall goal is to open up my own safe haven home, which will be called NOLA House, NOLA Safe House. So all of those projects is just to help fund that one particular thing that I really want, open. And I love fashion. I'm into fashion. So exclusive bougie decor just made a common sense to just do it, and the sales that we get from that, like I said, goes to that. When I get ready to release my book this coming August, I'm very, very, very excited about the book, y'all. That's
What's the name of
also,
the book?
the book is Life After Domestic Violence and Narcissist Abuse: Unshamedly Living. And the reason why it's such a long title, because I want people to understand, even though you go through that, you can still live your life. You don't have to hold your head down. You don't have to be ashamed about what you go to, what you've been through. be proud that you were able to come out of it and embrace, yourself and just love yourself all over again.
Yeah,
So
I love
that's
I
my,
love that. This interview was so timely too. I just heard some disturbing news about my previous marriage, and I'm like, should I even care? I'm out of that situation. So, having a safe haven and having somebody who understands, providing these services in the community is really it's really important. And I think what you're doing is really going to affect some change, and it's going to, allow more women to come out and speak out and to seek,
right.
safety and to get out of those situations. Do all of your business align with them? I know you're doing them all to fund and to help with Soaring Angels, but do they all like have a similar mission as far as the alignment?
Yes.
What you want to do
Yeah,
with the
all
money?
lines up because even the clothing and stuff that I get from Bougie Couture, we do a lot of donations to the women and children battered on women's shelter. I give back 100% to the community. Um, Even we do a toy drive every year for kids that have been affected by some type of trauma. And not just that, I even service kids with special needs. This past Easter, we serviced, I think it was like 200 and something kids with Easter baskets, like just little treats, because, kids are affected by this just as well as the mom or the dad that's going through it. And you got to get them some type of sense of normalcy. So you be amazed what a little teddy bear would do, or Easter basket. Yeah, I was able to still get my candy, or it just brings joy to a child. You got to give them something to look forward to instead of just all this trauma, 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 trauma.
And I love that you said mom and dads, because men go through domestic violence too, and it's not
Mm.
talked about enough. But men, are survivors of domestic violence as well. And I love
Right.
that you're, looking out for the children too, because a lot of times, the focus is on the mother, or is on the I don't want to say victim, the survivor, and less on the children that are in the household seeing this, because sometimes they grow up and they find themselves in those same situations, and don't understand why.
Right, right. And that's true. And believe it or not, I have so many men that inbox me or they have sent me emails, letters explaining the situation that they're in, and they don't know how to get out of it. How do I escape? How do I prepare myself? And so another thing that I'm launching is tote with love. The tote with love is actually a nice tote bag that's going to have different things in it that you need when you are ready to leave. Like I'm talking personal things, soap, toiletries, a card to buy food and clothing, because when you're in that situation, all you know is I gotta go. You don't have time to pack those things to get ready to leave. But when we have the total love, you can prepare that bag ahead of time, leave it in the trunk of your car, or leave it by a loved one. And I want to get these bags also to a lot of different safe haven homes because they need it. Because again, you're walking away and you're leaving everything. So what do I have to start all over again? They need the resources.
Yeah, I love that for sure. I definitely left in the middle of the night with a laundry bag of dirty clothes, and that was it.
So you understand.
So yeah, I lost a lot during that time. I love that. That is so dope that you even thought of that. That to think of that. So I know a lot of women would appreciate that.
Yeah, because the first time that when the incident happened to me the first time, um, I'm just gonna be very transparent and honest. I was tied up to a toilet and handcuffed and well tied. My hands were tied and I was beaten for over 17 hours. My whole condominium was destroyed. Brand new sports car I had destroyed. So when I got out the hospital like days later, I had absolutely nothing. And I had to restart all over again. My last situation, I waited till he left, called my family, was like, come get me, I'm out. You know, Still didn't have time to move things around, and even if you take some things out of the house slowly but surely, they notice that. And then that just puts you in more, jeopardy. So I figured out why not have a tote bag of love, your emergency contact, just the basic things that you need, like you need food, you need clothing, have those things in a bag so they could just get up and go. Just get up and go.
Yeah, maybe like a little Obama phone or something so that you can,
Yeah, and even emergency phones. Yep,
yeah.
emergency phones.
in, in your opinion, what role does personal empowerment and self worth play in breaking generational curses and helping, these survivors?
Well, my slogan is knowing your worth makes everything easier.
Hmm.
Once you understand your self worth, you won't tolerate those things because you can't break a generation curse if you don't start working on yourself. It has to come within. You have to work on yourself. I am a firm believer that children mimic what they see. You don't want your daughter thinking that it's okay to get beat up. Change the situation. You don't want your son to feel like it's okay to put his hands on a woman or a woman putting her hands on a man, because it happens both ways. Change the situation. You have to be open-minded and really willing to accept new ideas, new ways to do things, and just be able to change your way of thinking altogether. Because if you stay closed-minded and you're not willing to learn anything new, or first and foremost admitting, hey, there is a problem, you're not going to break the generation curse. It's just going to keep going on and going on and going on. You can't be all mouth and talking about it. You have to be proactive and do something about it. And it has to start with you.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, and I know that you're imparting that wisdom into the women that come into your program as well, helping them, build up their self-worth. Because I know, being in that situation, I'm sure if they didn't have low self-esteem going into it, once you're in that situation, you kind of start to feel sorry for yourself. And
Right.
so I think that's awesome. I love that your tagline and your slogan for that. What like what does the future hold for Soaring Angels? Like what do you see your company doing in the next 5 years?
5 years, I see that community center back open. I see development housing for women and men that's transitioning from, you know, fleeing that situation, and we get them back on track. And I'm talking not just giving them somewhere to stay financially. They need to be financial stable. So we need some education on how to open up a bank account, checking
Mm,
savings account. A lot of people really don't know how to do that.
mm,
They need to know how to manage and budget their money. They need to know how to do some credit cleaning,
mm.
and some ownership. Let's own your house, own a piece of property. So that's where we're going. We don't want to just be the old war is me, this happened to me.
Right,
No, it happened to you. You made it through. You overcome it. I don't like to use the term I'm a survivor. No, I overcame it.
right.
And so now we're moving on to bigger and better things.
And where are you located?
Well, home base is in New Orleans, Louisiana, but Soaring Angels is a national organization.
Okay.
We're not restricted to area code, none of that. If you need the help, we're going to help. We help some military family in Minot this Easter before last. We donated some baskets to the kids of military families that families, were away. So it doesn't matter. You could be in Washington, D.C. If you need me, I'm coming. You know,
Okay.
that's how I get down. Everybody needs help.
I love that. Are you looking for more help, partners, or people to help you with the mission for your upcoming event?
Yes, always, always, always. The doors are open. They can find information on my website is www.tokiemiller.com. Son Angels website is sonangels.org. That website is still being worked on. It will be up and running in 2 weeks. But if they want to just know contact information, what I have going on, it is always posted on my website. And I'm on Facebook, Instagram, my name, Tokie Miller. Look for Tokie Miller or I am True Love with a blue check. That's really me because I got some fake pages out here. But that is the real page. Okay. And like I
Okay.
said, just my website, tokiemiller.com.
All right. Well, it was so nice talking to you.
It was
Guys, make
better.
sure you follow her, give her some help. And ladies, if you're in a domestic violence situation, get out. There are resources, so make sure you look up Tokie Miller with Soaring Angels Inc. Thank you.
Thank you.